Hi my Trishy Fishies, welcome back to my channel, and I am calling you my Trishy Fishies in this video because we are talking about the mother of Trishy Fishies, Miss Trisha Paytas. Sorry, Steph Sims calls Trisha Paytas Trisha Paytas. Oh my, I'm losing it. And I love Steph Sims, and that just first thing that came into my head. But anyway, we are going to be talking about Trisha Paytas. Oh my god, Trisha Paytas. I got a McDonald's Happy Meal today. The new toys are really shit. Like, what is this? Like, remember when they used to give you, like, little, basically iPods that would play, like, Girls Aloud or Britney Spears or NSYNC? What happened to the production quality? McDonald's? What happened? Anyway, that's something that I need to, side topic. Anyway, there's so many things to, like, talk about in this video. But, okay, anyway, we are going to be talking about Trisha, as we said. Now, we are aware of what happened between her and H3H3. I feel like every single week we say that something new has happened, and I believe that's very calculated. Now, I think it's really interesting to note, and I want to just point out that Trisha had the really big drama with Ethan, H3H3, on the podcast, and she stormed out again, which is like the third time she's done that, and it's been in the title. Okay, get your views. Trisha has just released a new music video called, like, a COVID Christmas or whatever, and it seems kind of, you know, sus that a big drama happened where she was able to post all these exposing videos as well, and now she has a music video out. Almost like it was all strategic to get views on the H3 channel and then views on Trisha's music video. Oh my god, I said that in my first video. Wow, what if this was really calculated? Wow, remember I said I told my friend Kat that the views were down on the Frenemies podcast, and I believed that there was going to be a big drama that happened soon, so it like refreshed and that Trisha would quit and then come back and people are watching again and they got 1 million views on this because of the drama. Wow, almost like it's all calculated. I'm not saying it is, but almost as if. And I come a little bit closer, you know what I mean? Almost as if. Okay, I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. So anyways, I have notes written down here of what Trisha said in this. She has done an exposing video of H3H3. Now keep in mind that there are literally like 40 ads on this video. Get it, queen. Was it worth it? You know, this is coming from someone who loves mid-roll ads, but like, is it worth it? And it just makes it seem more calculated. So here we go again, another ad. Keep in mind, I literally had to watch so many other ads. Okay, let me go back to the start. So this video is called Why I Quit Frenemies, and the video is 46 minutes long. Now keep in mind, she's done many videos since this about the same thing that are like over an hour long. Like, she can talk. This is coming from someone who can talk, you know what I mean? So this video has, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 mid-roll ads. Now keep in mind, a mid-roll ad nowadays is like 2 ads in one. So that's basically 30 mid-roll ads and then 1 at the start and 1 at the end. Or no, 2 at the start. So 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So like 34 ads, kinda, that you could get in this. Now keep in mind, not all mid-rolls actually show an ad, but like preferably this is what Trisha had entered. So there was 34. So the video is her sitting down. We are not going to be watching it. We are actually just going to be talking about what she said in it. But this is, like, if I skip it, I'm probably going to get another ad. Almost as if this is calculated for money. I'm not saying it is. Now, before we get into what she says in it, I just want to reference that a quoted tweet that Trisha Paytas has pinned to the comment, top of the comment, says, "People keep praising Ethan and Hila, and to be honest, they're just as toxic as David and his gang was. They poke Trisha in ways that they know will get a rise out of her and don't fully communicate with her. There's a lot of underlying passive aggressiveness and condensation." Not condensation! Wait, condensation. I'm losing it. It's not condensation because that's what's on your windows. Condescending. Why do they say condescension? Is that a word? Condensation. There's a lot of aggression and condescension in their interactions with Trisha, and nobody ever calls them out for it. Now keep in mind, I want to tell you that in this video, so there is 14,000 likes and 18,000 dislikes, and in the video, Trisha actually says that she kind of liked the behavior that happened with David Dobrik. So it's, my cat is playing with the McDonald's toy. It's very distracting right now. Hey bestie. So let's get into what Trisha actually said in this video. So first of all, my first note is just writing down how many mid-roll ads there are in this, and it's kind of a bit like, okay. Trisha starts off by saying that her job is to overshare, so she has no problem continuing to overshare, and I think we're all, I'm gonna speak for everyone, well aware of that, Miss Trishy. Yep. She says she loves her job because she gets to make music videos and live a lavish life. So basically that she's okay with people shitting on her because she makes the money from it. She's able to make her music videos and live a lavish life. So we're happy for you, I guess. Like, it's hard to take her argument, you know, seriously, because she's like going off on all these people and she's like, I'm doing this because I get to live a lavish life. I get to make my music videos. And it's like, it's hard to sympathize with you whenever you're like, I'm doing this, and you know why? I get to make my music videos. I get to win. And it's like, okay. You know what I mean? Okay. She said people believe the podcast was her rock bottom, but for her, it wasn't her rock bottom at all. So basically the behavior, if you don't know what happened, she basically absolutely freaked out on Ethan. It was almost like a switch, and she started coming for his parenting skills, started coming for Hila, and this all started because Ethan said a comment about Hila. And Trisha said, can we get Hila on the podcast to sit in? Because people believe that I don't like her and she doesn't like me. And Ethan was quite rude in what he said. And he was like, no, just straight up no. And Trisha was like, what? And he was like, cut this out. We're not talking about Hila. And Trisha was like, are you fucking serious? And just like a switch. And so she's very angry that they get to talk about her and Moses, but Trisha can't even bring up Hila. And so we'll get into it before I start calling out the hypocrisies. But she's saying that that wasn't her rock bottom, that behavior. And so, okay. She says this behavior isn't something new for her, and I think it's very easy to tell that because only a few podcasts ago the same behavior was shown, so. She says how Ethan brings up how she can't maintain friendships and relationships, and she says that she's able to keep Shane, for example, as a long-term friendship. It's just, you know, certain people she doesn't mix well with. So, I mean, I think it says a lot, Trisha, that Shane is one of the only people you can maintain as a proper friend, because Shane himself isn't the best person. I don't know what the argument was there. Like, congratulations, you've been friends with Shane Dawson. Match made in heaven. Weird. She says she can't control when she gets triggered and she just has to go and she has to attack, and she says it's almost like it's a different person, and she's saying though that it's not multiple different personalities. Now, this is kind of her referencing, remember the drama where she said like meet my alters? She said that she had different personalities, different people within her, and then people were calling her out for possibly lying about that, and then she made videos that where it was like, oh my god, my alters caught on camera. That was a huge drama that happened. So now she's almost like admitting that that wasn't true. In my, like, opinion of what she's saying here, she's literally saying that she can't control whenever she gets triggered, but it's not multiple different personalities, and that's not what she's trying to say. And she was almost, like, laughing about it in the moment, basically saying that, no, this is not what I'm on about, like, referencing the past thing. So is this admitting that she was lying or something back then? Because that doesn't sit well with me. I mean, maybe that's not what she meant by that, and it was just that this, you know, certain situation wasn't that. It's a very confusing timeline with Trisha, to say the least. She says she doesn't like pushing herself for drama for the show, which I can get if that was just anyone saying that, but almost week after week, it seems like both Trisha is doing that and both Ethan is doing that, you know, like both of them at the same time. So it's really hard whenever both of them are trying to justify their actions, both Ethan as well and Trisha, saying that they don't, you know, push themselves for drama on the podcast, whenever even just the last couple have literally just all been about drama and them fighting and bringing someone on to talk to them. So it's like really hypocritical, and it's really hard to take that seriously. She says, however, that she loves Ethan and she loves their dynamic. Now, I think it's very important to note this because she has since taken this back and says that she doesn't with either of them. No, not Ethan, and no, not the dynamic. So again, this is just Trisha throwing around things that she later takes back in other videos. So take that with a pinch of salt. She says their relationship is similar to the David Dobrik friendship, again, bringing up David Dobrik, how original, and she says that the poking is funny and that she finds it very stimulating, again, something that she later takes back. And so now is she almost saying that she enjoyed the David Dobrik friendship whenever she spent months upon months deflecting from the Shane Dawson drama, trying to call David out and how that was the worst ever time, but now she's saying that she found it fun and stimulating. See, this is the thing with Trisha, especially when you make so many videos on her, you start to learn things that she says. So whenever she says something new, you're able to like, oh, well, you said that and it contradicts this. So, I mean, again, take that with a pinch of salt. She's now saying that she enjoyed the David Dobrik friendship and she found it stimulating. Interesting. And she says she loves having an opponent like David Dobrik, like Ethan, which I can get. I understand that. And it's very clear within the relationship with David, whenever they were making vlogs, that's what it was. You know, Trisha against David in this podcast where it's like Ethan fighting back with Trisha. I get it. And I think we all can. She says she thinks, though, that Ethan just continues to push her too far to get her to snap. And I 100% agree. I really do believe that that's what he's doing because, yeah, he can put Trisha storms out, Trisha drama in the title and get more clicks in it. I do believe that's what's happening. But Trisha has also said in the past that she's well aware that's what he does and she's fine with it because she's getting paid the highest she's ever done before on any YouTube project on this podcast. So again, it's like, does she approve of it or does she not? You know what I mean? It's like picking up daisies. Does she approve of it? Does she not? Does she approve it? Does she not? It's so confusing. She said that she asked Ethan to move on after the uphila drama, but he chose not to. She said she tried so hard to move on and that she's working on her mental health and knowing when to stop in a situation. And I'm very glad and happy for her. And the thing was, though, that's not entirely true and she knows it. She did say to Ethan to move on, and then Ethan was asking her a question based on something she said right after she said to move on. She was being very snarky in that, and she knows that as well. Like, in the podcast, she's going back on it now, and there's a reason she makes, like, 46-minute long videos on this and doesn't show any video proof. She just talks. She said that she asked to move on, and Ethan wouldn't. Well, that's not true. She said to move on, and Ethan would go silent, and then she would make another snap joke. Or, like, comment, which is what she said. Can we move on? Ethan said nothing. And then she literally brings up about that she would never have her kid have a nanny. And then that was attacking the parenting. Then it started from there. And then she goes, nope, let's just move on. Let's just move on. You just asked me. Let's just move on. So, of course, he's not going to move on. So, again, another hypocrisy with Trisha there. But we've come to accept that. She says that Ethan and Moses both know that her mental health is bad. And I 100% agree with her in that. I believe she's telling the truth in that. But again, she goes on the podcast week after week saying that she's okay with all of this happening because she's getting such a high paycheck. So it's like, okay. Like, how are we supposed to react? And she says she's working hard on her mental health, which I'm very happy for her. She says again that she didn't want to walk out because that's what Ethan wants so that he can put it in the title. Now, she is right in that because he did put it in the title, so she is telling the truth there. But at the same time, he asked her to leave as well, so it was a bit hypocritical on Ethan putting it that Trisha storms out because it was because of him, but then it was because she took it too far. And it's just like, both of them are so like, y'all are grown adults. Damn. She says that her reputation on the internet is so bad, which is true, and it's so on brand for her character, and she doesn't mind that. So, again, whenever she's telling this and she's not really articulating her thoughts, she's just kind of saying that, you know, like, this really is something that upsets her, and then she's like, but this is my character, so I'm okay with it. So, I'm writing down things as she's saying them, so again, it is contradicting even things she said, like, a couple sentences ago, so it is kind of hard to follow, but I'm just including all to, like, let you know that's what she was saying. And she says that she doesn't mind if people hate her online, but not if her character is up for judgment. So she's saying that because the comments were so brutal against her character and how she acted or whatever, that's whenever she thought she had to address it, and it was just, you know, too far, so. Okay. There's been a lot of other things on the internet that she hasn't addressed, but was that not attacking her character enough that she had to address them? Right? Okay. She says she believes, okay, that she's lasted so long on the internet because people can see the person beneath what she does. Now, Trisha, that's not why I would say you've lasted so long on the internet. I would say it's because you keep getting yourself in really big controversies that keep people talking, and you've also admitted that, so I don't know why you're saying that people can see the person underneath all the dramas. Girl, I don't know if that's the truth. Let's be real. I think it's because you keep upping yourself with, like, the dramas that you involve yourself in, and so that's why you're still around. I mean, props to you, you're doing something right. You know, you're still talked about all these years later. Well, your peers at the start when you started YouTube are nowhere to be found, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really think people seeing the person underneath is why she's lasted so long on the internet. We see her beefing with, like, young TikTokers now, so she's, like, fighting with the new generation of people, right? So that keeps her relevant again. So I don't really think it's just because people can see the person underneath, but Trisha, hey, you're allowed to think that, and people are allowed to agree with that. She says the podcast is her talking about people, and this is a quote from Trisha. I went from influencer to talking about influencer. And she says about being a public figure and that people, you know, are always going to be talking about her, which is funny because for so long before Trisha went on this damn podcast, she was so against drama channels, coming after, making videos against, what was that drama channel? She made a video where he was like, he really took it too far, and she made a video that, you know, like, the drama channels, like, their videos need to be, like, looked into on why they can make so many videos on people and talk about people so harsh. What was his name? Sanders Kennedy. And she made that video in summer, and then a couple months later, actually a couple of weeks later, she then turned into basically a drama channel with Ethan. So she acknowledging now that she went from influencer to talking about influencers. It's like, yeah, but like for so long you were coming after the drama channels. But that's what you are now. Right? Okay. And she brings up how H3H3 podcast, as in Ethan and Hila, talked about her relationship with Moses before quarantine, so it wasn't off limits, you know, for them to talk about that, and that they didn't ask for Trisha's consent to talk about that. So why can't Trisha talk about Hila? Which I honestly agree with Trisha on this. I hate to say it, but I do agree with Trisha that Hila had no problem talking about Trisha's relationship. So, but then Trisha does, like, with her comments about Hila, it really does, like, get in the middle of the family, because she's like, Moses hates you guys. So that's not really the same thing that Hila was saying. Hila was talking about the relationship, but if I'm like putting it into a box of Trisha being able to talk about Hila and Ethan's relationship, and Hila being able to talk about Trisha and Moses's, they should be allowed to talk about each other's if they both, you know, are doing it separately. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but Trisha's saying that it wasn't off limits to talk about her and her relationship in a negative way, so why can't she even bring up Hila? I mean, it's a valid point, honestly. It's a valid point. And she says how they always dragged her, as in Trisha, on the podcast, but she says she loves being talked about because it keeps her relevant. Again, Trisha, that's why you're still relevant to this day, not because people can see the person underneath it. But she says about how they talk about Trisha and pass it off as jokes, but whenever she talks about Hila, apparently it's too far. Well, Trisha, most of the time it is, because you are wedging a gap in the family, because you're saying stuff like, Moses never wants to be around you guys. Like, we have you on video saying that in the podcast. Literally in the last podcast, you're like, Moses doesn't even like you guys anyway. And you're saying you didn't even say that. Like, there is video proof. Like, do you think when Trisha makes these videos, she realizes we can just fact check? Or not? I don't know. Do you think she's just talking to persuade herself? I don't know, again, like, it's so confusing. Trisha says that her main issue is that Ethan said that Trisha said that Hila is rude or unwelcoming, and she says, show me any clip where I've said that, or any clip where I insinuated that she was rude. And now it's really funny because we do have so many clips of Trisha saying that Hila was rude or was unwelcoming or didn't say hello to her or Moses hates her. Like, there are so many clips of this, and I don't understand. Like, people have literally been posting them and being like, Trisha, this you? Like, I don't understand why Trisha's like, show me any clips. And then we do, and she's like, show me any clips. And we're like, here we go. And she's like, show me. You know what I mean? Like, Trisha, they're there. Like, Trisha said that she didn't watch the podcast, so maybe that's why she's making so many, like, claims here, and she thinks they edited it out. But, like, Trisha, so many times you've said, you know, little comments about Hila like that. And she's like, show me! And we're like, there we go. Here you go. Do we need to put some more? Like, don't be shy. A bit weird. And she says in this video how Hila has always greeted her at the door and been so nice to her. But then again, Trisha, you say the absolute opposite on the podcast. So there's not much we can do there if you're saying one thing in this video, this 40-minute long video, and then on the podcast you're saying literally the opposite. So, okay. She says how Ethan only presents information in favor of himself, and that's fine because it's his podcast. So, I mean, yeah, that's literally just a fact, okay? If you want information shown in your favor, you have to do that yourself. He has a team behind him, like AB and stuff. Get your own. It's literally that simple. And then Trisha kind of goes back on herself in this video. She says, maybe I've said something casually against Hila. So she's literally just contradicting herself. And yeah, that was because she realized that she had. So yeah, there's not much we can do to, like, defend you here, Trisha, whenever you're, like, going back on yourself in the same video. Like, maybe I've said something negative. Yes, you have. But then she just continues to say her one, which is actually a valid argument. I've said before, she just keeps reiterating it because it's really her only point that she can use, that it's not fair for them to talk about her relationship, but she can't even bring up Hila. Again, a fair point. And again, says that she's never used any words against Hila, even though a couple sentences ago she said, maybe I have. What the hell? What the fuck is going on? And Trisha then says how Ethan was the one to bring up Hila, which started this all. Basically, Ethan said that Trisha had something on her lips, and Hila referenced it, and then Hila was like, why didn't Ethan tell her not? And then Trisha was like, can we get Hila to sit in? And Ethan said no, and was like, cut this out, we're not talking about her. She doesn't like to be talked about. And then Trisha was like, what the fuck? So that's where it started. So Trisha is referencing that Ethan was actually the one to bring her up first, which again, is a valid point. She said, however, that she's just really angry that Ethan is pushing a narrative that she's dividing the family, and that's how she was painted with Jason, because remember it was said that, you know, Trisha was getting in the way of Jason and his kids, and Jason and his friends, which is a very valid point as well. She said she isn't, but then Trisha, on the podcast, you literally say that Moses hates you guys to both of them. So that is getting in the way. Do you think she realizes this? Girl, you... My God, Trisha. Jesus Christ, fucking hell. Trisha starts to end the video off by saying again she's been nothing but nice to Hila, which is news to me, maybe news to you. And she says that there is a fake side to them, as in Ethan and Hila, and that's okay because they don't want to air out their dirty laundry, but she has no problem doing so. And she keeps saying about how Moses isn't a public figure, but they don't care when talking about him. Okay, then she defended herself by what she said about their parenting when she was like, I wouldn't have, you know, a nanny, like, just spend more time with your kids. She was like, they asked for her opinion and she gave it. But if you watch the video, she's like being so condescending about it. You know, she's like, yeah, I wouldn't have one. Okay? And he's like, do you want to develop on that? And she's like, no, I wouldn't. So, like, it's just... I don't know if she realizes that we can just fact check everything she's saying here. It's a bit weird. She was super condescending in the podcast. Again, Ethan used it to his advantage to, you know, have it in the title and get views on the podcast. Trisha's obviously using it now because she is a music video she can get views on because people are watching her stuff right now because of the drama. So I guess they're both winning in this situation, and she's going to be back in Frenemies next week and say that she wasn't, whatever, fucking come back, more views on it, and it's like, it's all just seeming a bit too planned and a bit too strategic. What do you think? I don't know. Okay, well, let's talk about it below. I'll see you in my next one. Let's talk. Okay. Bye.